50 Cent is making headlines again, this time with a new claim that did not make it into his Netflix documentary about Diddy. According to 50, there was simply too much material to fit into 4 episodes, so several stories had to be left out. One of those stories, he says, involves Diddy secretly having a child with a woman who once dated Tupac Shakur. His team decided to cut that claim because of time limits. 50 also said that instead of waiting for another season, he might release the extra footage on YouTube. Since the documentary aired, even more people have been reaching out to him with new information. Many of them are asking why he is going so hard against Diddy. And trust me, the real reason might shock you. TK Kirkland recently shared his thoughts on why 50 Cent went so hard with this documentary. From the beginning, TK made it clear that many people are missing a key point. Some fans believe 50 is just being petty or attacking Diddy for attention. But TK says there is much more behind it. According to him, out of all the women in the world, Diddy chose to get involved with the mother of 50 Cent's child.
Out of all the women in the world that Diddy could have gotten with, he chose 50 Cent's baby mother.
It's a lot of variables to this particular question. Because I talk to a lot of people, older, younger, even my daughter, who's 22, she didn't understand it. So people give their opinion based on what they've experienced and their environment, people they've been around. So to the people that understand boundaries and respect, I always tell men you should never date another man's girl if you're not aware of it. If you know it, then it's...
TK said that doing something like that shows a serious lack of respect. He shared that in his entire life, he has never knowingly dated a woman who had been involved with one of his friends. To him, that is simply not something you do. He also pointed out that Diddy is not a man with limited choices. He has fame, money, and access to people all over the world. Because of that, TK believes Diddy getting involved with 50's child's mother was not an accident. In his opinion, it was intentional, especially since Diddy and 50 had issues with each other for years.
But he went after the baby mother of one of his rivals.
Exactly.
Someone who had been taking shots at him for years.
Absolutely.
On purpose.
And he went after her knowing that they had beef.
Right. And slutted her out.
Slut her out.
Just slutted her out.
Slut her out.
Having a whole basketball team run a train on her.
Totally
and
did. I
just
totally
the whole
agree.
thing, right?
Totally agree.
Right.
But his reputation from when he worked at Uptown, I'll be sure's girlfriend.
Oh, Kim Porter.
Kim Porter.
Right.
That's
well,
his reputation.
I'll be sure his baby mother.
Baby mama.
Yeah.
Then Eric Serm, his friend, the one that had she had his baby, Mia. So he's had a reputation of going after people.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend.
He got a baby with her too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my point that I'm making to the men listening, well, if you don't understand this, then you just poorly educated and don't really have common sense. It's a no-no. There's no way I would go after Vlad's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
I'm so loyal that if I met a woman and she said, oh yeah, I used to date Vlad. Oh, I can't with you, baby.
Right.
I won't even put my, excuse my language, because that's how I move. Other people don't move like that, but you see me in Paris, you see me all over the world. Why would I want to do that to mess up a relationship?
While 50 Cent's documentary has received a lot of attention and praise, not everyone sees it as a complete victory for him. Gene Deal has spoken out with serious complaints. He claims that parts of the documentary were not original and that his ideas were used without giving him credit.
I seen an interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down, the documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that, because a documentary is a documentary. And they could have had 45 minutes, they could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She can say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and Kirk. You understand what I'm saying? And how it would go. They did the same thing. This ain't the first time they stole from me, man. You know, if you look at the Notorious Big, if you watch the Notorious Big, that part about the shoes, I had that in my book. And I was talking to K.O. Copeland. He was one of the writers of that movie. And I told him about when I let Big use my shoes at Soul Train Award. You had this old flunky ass dude, Mike B, get on Angie Martinez's show and talk about, yo, Big, he wore mixed max shoes and he went out there and performed. When you go look at the film, when you go look at Big performing that on that show, ain't nothing mixed match about them shoes. There was $800 Maury's, size 14D. Big World 14E. E means that his shoes is a little wider than mine. He struggled, but he put them on and he went out there and performed. Those was my Gators that he had on. You understand? They did a little skit trying to disrespect me in the movie. You understand? And they said something about, oh, we got this from...
Gene also spoke about rumors that 50 might release more content online in the future. He believes that if more footage comes out, Diddy will not be able to stop it. In his view, if the documentary could have been shut down, it would have already happened. He says that alone shows how much power Diddy still has or no longer has behind the scenes.
That documentary, and if 50 do another one, and I heard he's gonna put it on YouTube or do whatever he's gonna do, Puff ain't gonna have nothing to do with that. Puff ain't gonna have nothing to do to try to stop that because he can't. Because if he could stop it, it would have been stopped. You know why he can't stop it? Because Puff know people right there at Netflix. Don't think he don't. And I don't know if this guy still worked for them, but he was part of the flavor unit, Sha Kim. He was part of the flavor unit. He was good friends. He was cool with Puff and them. Flavor unit and them, Queen Latifah and them, they was cool with Puff. If Puff would have sent a cease and desist over there and they could do it and he had the power and they wasn't right, they would have been done it. You see it's still rolling, right? It's still going on, right? He ain't got that power no more. You understand? Now, could he sue them because they used his likeness or used him and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm not that versed in they using him. You understand? If they could steal your whole damn idea, your whole damn idea, why can't they steal your whole damn intellectual property? That's what they do.
Gene also talked about how Diddy had a strange obsession with Tupac and how that obsession seemed to control many of his decisions throughout his life.
I did see the interview that 50 did with Sherry, and he was talking about he didn't release I think he auditioned for Juice, but Pac beat him out for that Bishop thing.
However, the documentary is not completely honest. One thing that stood out to many viewers was how little it said about Kim Porter. She was Diddy's longtime partner and the mother of his children. She passed away suddenly in 2018 at the age of 47. The official cause of death was pneumonia, but many people believe Diddy was involved. Kim was around Diddy for years. She saw his personal life, his business moves, and what happened behind closed doors.
Do you think that Diddy killed Kim Porter?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters, because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being sodomized by Andre Harrell. And I am not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Moore talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting cocaine at the Kit Kat Club.
Despite that, the documentary barely mentioned her story. According to multiple sources, her story was avoided on purpose. It may have been considered too sensitive or too controversial. Gene says he knew Kim personally and even looked out for her at times. He believes she knew a lot.
It was alleged that she did have a book and that her book was about to come out. And she was talking about all the perils, everything that she went through in the music business and with Diddy. All the men that they slept with together, because there were men that they slept with together. There were swinging times that they slept with together. I don't know, man. How do you put your girl through some shit like that? Or how you look at your girl and knowing that she's in another dude? What kind of demonic mind you have to be that far gone where that shit don't bother you? And got rid of them. They swimming with the fishes.
Wow, man. So she was about to expose all that in her book, them sleeping with men together.
She was gonna expose everything. I heard it was tell all.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just curious, right? Did you know that Diddy and Kim had that type of relationship back then in real time?
Yeah. Yep. Because I know somebody personally that lives in Atlanta that was swinging with them, and I would never mention his name because he's a good brother and he knows my family down there. You know, he knows my family down there, and I would never, put his name out there like that. He's been in the music business. He done put a lot of groups, A-listed groups out there, especially A-listed groups from Atlanta.
But none of that information made it into the documentary. They showed a few photos of her, mentioned that she was the mother of Diddy's children, and then moved on. For someone who played such a major role in his life, that silence raised serious questions. Mark Curry has also shared a very disturbing story involving Kim Porter and Diddy. He claimed that Diddy had ways of monitoring her private conversations and would become angry when he heard things he did not like. Mark recalled a moment when Diddy became furious after learning about a phone call Kim had with producer Shakir Stewart. According to Mark, Diddy later confronted Shakir at a party and attacked him with a chair.
It was the other day they just did a whole thing with the girl that he was dating was the one that was putting the wiretaps and all of that out. It was a clear case. She came, hey, I was the one who was doing the wiretaping and all of this, right? The tapping. So I knew about this before she came out and said that she was the one that was doing it. I was sitting there like, damn, he know everything she doing. He know her conversation. I'm sitting there like when I'm sitting there right there next to him, when I'm hearing them saying, this is what Shakir Stewart was saying to Kim Porter on the phone that made him mad. That made him so mad at Shakir Stewart when he went to L.A. Reid party, hit him with the chair. You don't think if he hit a man with a chair for dating this girl, they gonna have a fight at home too. You know what I mean? That's why, they say he busts her nose up on the boat. And have you ever been to Sandro Pay's see a brother play a mandolay? Remember that was in his song? I need a good woman next to me. So then it happened in Sandro Pay? Like that island. And then he bust her nose. They tried to make it seem like she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell and broke her nose. Nah, the truth was she slipped and fell and landed on his fist. Yeah, but that's what happens when you put your hands on females. I don't really have much respect for a man who's physically abusive towards women, man. I kind of think they be kind of suspect. I'd be like, man, I girls fight girls.